What's up YouTube, Adam here, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you my full review of the brand new OnePlus 2. Now, I loved last year's model, the OnePlus One. It really was one of the best phones of the year, and these are now a nightmare to get hold of with that ridiculous invite system. However, 28mobile.com do have them, so if you want to get one, head over there. Links will be in the video description and you can get one right now. And a huge thank you to Patrick for hooking me up with this one. Now, as we move into the review itself, if we compare it to last year's model, you can see some instant differences in the hardware itself, and it is an improvement with that band all the way around the outside made out of an extremely nice metal. On the back, we've still got that really nice to the touch material, and we've also got the brand new laser guided, laser focused camera. Now, as we go around to the left hand side of the phone, they've changed it for a switch. So this is a three-way switch, and it gives us the ability at a simple slide to control the kind of notifications that we're getting. On the bottom, we've got that brand new incredible USB Type-C connector, along with some new bigger holes for the speaker, which sounds much improved over last year's model. They've moved the power button and the volume button around to the right hand side, so they are now together. And I'm not too much of a fan of that. It's a bit weird to have them both on the same side. Sometimes you touch one of them by accident. Now, on the front, we've still got a 1080p panel, which I'll come back to in a minute, but we've got a brand new accessory on here, and that is the fingerprint sensor. Now, this also doubles up as the home button. It's not a physical button, it's literally just a kind of touch sensitive capacitive button, and this gives us the ability to have that fingerprint authorization to get into the phone itself. Now, the fingerprint sensor to me has worked reasonably well. I've got to say, I find it quite fast, but maybe not quite as accurate as that on the Galaxy S6 or even the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, but still a great addition. And I love the fact that that home button is capacitive. Now, the screen itself, unfortunately, they have kept with the 1080p panel. It still gives you about a 400 ppi, and they've definitely made some improvements over the quality of that screen. Personally, I wish they'd up the resolution to the 1440p, but it's still a great screen, extremely clear, and the improvements they've made to the clarity, the contrast, and especially the brightness have definitely been worthwhile, making it still an absolutely incredible display. Now, as we work our way around onto the back, we get that brand new laser focused 13 megapixel sensor camera. We've got a couple of LEDs on there as well on the back for the flash, and this really is a very nice camera indeed. A huge improvement over last year's model. With that laser guided focusing, it's extremely quick to focus, and the pictures come out extremely nice regardless of the situation that you're in. Now, this thing also obviously shoots 4K video as well, which is fantastic, and you can very easily flick your way around the interface for the camera. It's very simple, very clean, and very easy to use. It's also got a couple of other modes as well, HDR and clean, and I must say, when you take an HDR shot, it really does make it extremely nice in terms of the dynamic range. The front-facing camera is a 5 megapixel camera, and that's capable of shooting 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now, there's also a slow motion addition to the rear-facing camera as well, which gives you the ability to go up to 120 frames per second at 720p, and that works really well as well. Now, as we take a look at some of the photos themselves, you'll realise that there is absolutely no issue with sharpness, with contrast, with detail, none of that. I do find it gets the white balance wrong quite a lot, and sometimes it's just a little bit over processed as well, but overall photo quality fantastic, and works even well in low light as well. The 4K video, absolutely incredible, and in addition to all of these features, it has optical image stabilization as well, so it really does come out extremely nice regardless of whether you're hand holding or not. Now, on to performance, and this thing is an absolute beast. This is going to literally tear apart anything you throw at it, no problem whatsoever. It's got the Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 processor, and this thing really is crazy fast. Now, some people have alluded to the point that it may well have heat issues. I've not found them myself. I don't do a huge amount of gaming, but I do some other high intensity stuff, and I've had no issues with that whatsoever. I've not used it in a temperature that is hot in terms of ambient heat around it, and maybe that would cause an issue, but like I say, extremely fast. And when you actually take a look at the benchmarks of this and you compare it to other phones, you get an idea as to just how fast it is. Compared to the iPhone 6, it's coming up there to about 40% faster on the multi-core score and over double as fast as the previous iteration. I must say though, you will find that as you go below 20% battery, it does halve the performance almost. So there is something built in there that's not in the software that tells it to slow down the processor as it gets to a lower percentage of battery. Now onto software, and yet again they've done a great job with keeping it nice and clean. This does run Lollipop version 5.1 and it's got the Oxygen UI over the top of it, but like I say, it's extremely clean and you're going to have no issues with speed whatsoever or any kind of clutter from an over-engineered skin sitting on the top of Lollipop. Navigating your way around the operating system is extremely fast and zippy, and you really are going to have absolutely no issues with performance on this phone. Now, my overall opinion of the OnePlus 2. First up, let's just talk about a couple of the negatives. Now, for me, for this to be a real flagship killer like they call it, it should have had a 2.5K screen with that 1440p resolution, just like the Galaxy S6. In addition to that, although NFC isn't majorly used at the moment by some people, with the increase in the payment systems that we're getting on phones now, it's going to be a real miss on the OnePlus 2. In addition to that, we don't have any kind of fast charging and the battery life is not the greatest either. Now, those are the negatives. The positive, this thing has all the specs of a phone that is almost twice the price of it. You really are getting a great screen, a great camera. You're getting real flagship type specs for an incredible price. So this is without doubt the best phone in terms of the value for money that you can buy today. And that's an incredible thing to be able to say. Huge props to OnePlus. I'm going to love using this phone the same as I did last year's model. I feel like they've just slightly missed the ability to call it this year's flagship killer like they did with last year's model. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Please do go ahead and hit that like button for me, and I will see you all in the next one. See ya.